Core describes itself as specialist nuclear engineers that cover the full nuclear life cycle, working in maintenance, testing, all sorts of areas of decommissioning that John is going to tell us about now. So welcome, John. Great to see you here. It's great to be in the Core Nuclear Solutions rig hall today. Very exciting. Could you tell us a little bit about what Core Nuclear Solutions does?
Yep, Core Nuclear Solutions are very much a nuclear company. So we are covering remote engineers. That's where our name came from. We're very proud to work pretty much predominantly in the nuclear industry, delivering projects right across the UK and now further into Europe as well.
Brilliant. So can you tell me a little bit about how Core started? Where did it all come from?
Core used to be a company called Power Systems. They were a big American remote handling company who traced their roots right back to the Manhattan Project and the support they gave to the H-bomb in the 30s and 40s. In the UK, they'd sold manipulator systems to Sellafield right from the 1970s through various other service agents. In 2010, Sellafield asked Power to come to the UK and set up an office to support their manipulator systems across the Sellafield site, and they set up that business in a couple of little sheds in Seascale, which grew for a few years until 2015, where the business was struggling a little bit, and that's when they brought myself in as engineering and business development director to run that business. So that's where we kind of grew from. Since that business of 4 people was picked up by myself in 2015, we grew quite predominantly into design and development of remote handling equipment up until 2021, when the business had grown a little bit too big to be American-owned, operating in the UK, and that's when I carried out a management buyout of the business. So
it started with 4 people when you took it over?
Yeah, in 2015, yeah.
And how many people now?
We now have 64 people.
That's incredible. In 10 years? That's amazing growth, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster of hard work and emotion, to be fair.
So can you tell me a little bit about the projects that you actually work on at Sellafield?
Yeah, at Sellafield we've got a support contract whereby we look after all the manipulator systems on the site. We've also extended into camera support, so we look after all of Sellafield's in-cell and high radiation cameras. And we're now picking up a variety of decommissioning projects across the site as well. So decommissioning is pretty new to us. We've normally looked after operational areas of the Sellafield site, like of Thorpe or the fuel handling plant, but now we're moving into more decommissioning areas and lending those skills from operational plants to deliver decommissioning a little bit differently, so that we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, we're trying to use normal standard operational techniques to deliver decommissioning work.
So when you talk about the decommissioning work you do, is it about engineering? Is it about the maintenance of the equipment that you were talking about in the first instance, or is it something different?
It's the full life cycle, really. We like people to come to us with a problem, so without having done too much engineering into how they're going to solve that problem, and we'll adapt our skills and capabilities to try and find a solution with our customers to solve the problem, and then we can develop it up from there. With that, doing some engineering design, some trials and testing, proving the solution works, and then we can go into the detail of actual manufacturing design, manufacturing the products themselves, and then deploying them on site and commissioning them as well.
So manufacturing, what kind of products?
In-house we manufacture our own machine components. So we have a machine shop in Maryport called DM Engineering, whereby we manufacture most of our own components for machined items. We've got a supply chain of companies that do our fabricated items, so we're very proudly part of the Company Manufacturing Alliance, and we work together with those people to deliver really high-end fabricated and machined components. And in-house we build our own control panels and control systems, so we've got our own panel shop whereby we can have full control of our control systems.
It sounds like pretty critical work for a nuclear site like Sellafield, where everything has to be super safe, super regulated. How is that? Is that really challenging?
It is challenging, but it's getting to know the needs of your customer in a really deep way. So we know their quality systems, we know their procedural systems for approvals, we know their design process, we understand and work hand in glove with them to deliver things that work right first time.
And is Sellafield your biggest client? Is that where your biggest projects are?
Through a variety of different contractual routes, yes, I would say Sellafield's our biggest single customer.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about some of the other customers you've worked with?
Yeah, we do work nationwide with NRS, with formerly Magnox. We work at Doon-Ray, we work for Rolls-Royce, work for quite a few different customers in the UK. And obviously we work through a lot of different tier 2 companies, be that Nexus, be it A2R, or all the other DWP partners. So we are very well spread in terms of people we work with. A lot of work in the past and probably in the future with UKAA as well.
So it sounds like a really interesting journey to have gone through 10 years of like amazing growth. What was that like? What were the sort of challenges that you came up against?
Initially it was tough going, starting from a very small base, trying to grow into new bigger premises. In 2018 we took the plunge and took on this place in Lily Hall, Workington. So that was a real step change for us to move from 3 little sheds in Seascale to 12,000 square feet in Workington. So that was a key catalyst for growth. The next big challenge was right in the middle of COVID. We did a management buyout of the business because we realised under American ownership and American contractual law we weren't going to be able to pick up more work in the UK. So we managed to do a deal to manage to retain the people we had and then grow them again. So we were at 18 people there, so I felt the need to look after the team and make sure they had jobs and prosperity going forward. So we managed to get that across the line. And since then it was all about business planning. So I went from being an engineer to running a business, which was very, very different. So have a 5-year business plan, targets, making sure we had the right facilities, making sure we had the right people, and all that infrastructure that goes behind it. We had finance, HR, IT, all that had to be brought in-house or with partners. So that was a huge undertaking, right at a critical time in the UK
Difficult time.
national history.
Yeah. How did you know what to do?
Took advice. So we had excellent legal advice, excellent business support advice, excellent financial advice, and a lot of work. So to pull it all together.
Can I ask where you got the advice from? Was it local companies? Was it just people that you knew? How
All
did
local
it work?
and all people we met through Beck BC, the business cluster.
Oh, brilliant.
So our legal advice came from Burnett Carlisle,
Right.
who were excellent, and Mike Walby has supported us right the way through. The business planning was done with Peter Fleming,
Okay.
and we worked
He's
really closely
very
with Peter Fleming on all that, and a lot of the financial advice came from Dodds.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's great to hear. Local businesses, local consultants. You know, it's a great story for Cumbria.
Yep.
That's really good. And what were you doing before you joined CORE?
Before I joined CORE, or part as it was, I worked for the National Nuclear Lab. So I was a project manager through at the NNL.
I see. And what were you doing there?
Variety of
Kind of
different projects, installing vitrification plants, building self-shielding boxes to store fuel, all sorts of exciting and interesting projects.
So you were a project manager at the National Nuclear Laboratory, and then you suddenly took over this business. When you said earlier that they brought you in because the business was struggling, what was it about you that made them go, oh, John McGibbon's the person to bring in?
Good question. I went through a very long interview process of five interviews.
Wow.
Some of them over Skype as it was, because Teams wasn't a thing back then. And it was Emma Jane at her new exec recruitment that recruited me into the business.
Oh, wow.
Obviously persuaded the American team that this was the right move. And I think it's worked out okay.
Sounds like it. That's amazing growth. Really good story. Interesting. And I heard that you just won an In Cumbria award. That's very exciting.
We did, yes. Last Thursday we won the SME of the Year award with the In Cumbria Awards in Carlisle.
And
So
I don't think that's the first award you've won either.
it's not. We've won 3 previous awards, so touch wood, we've won every award we've put ourselves up for to date. So we've won Growing Business of the Year twice at the Business Cluster, and we won Overall Business of the Year last year at the Business Cluster Awards as well.
What do you think the magic is at CORE that's causing you to be so successful?
We just all work hard. So
Right.
we pride ourselves in having a little pot of expertise and making sure we get that job done correctly. So we've had a team of customers out this morning. There's a system we've supplied to site that hasn't quite worked correctly the first time it went in. So we've brought everything back here to site, retested it, revalidated, brought the customers round and made sure that everybody's completely happy before we go and do that proper on-site deployment. And we'll then follow that right down to site and actually help the team operate and run that system to make sure it works first time in an active area. And I think that dedication to make sure we are completely looking after our customers is what makes us special.
Nice. And I understand that you've embarked on exploring exports into Europe. How have you done the international piece?
Yeah, we've delivered our first major project into Scandinavia. So we've just delivered £2 million worth of scope into the IFE labs in Norway, where we've delivered a brand new manipulator system, which was delivered from our former parent company, Power Systems. We've done all the design work, the integration work, the testing work here in Lily Hall, and we sent a team out to Norway who did all the installation, commissioning and setting to work. And they managed to achieve all that setting to work and install work in 3 weeks.
Wow.
So they did fantastically well.
Brilliant. And was that relationship, did that come from the Power Systems relationship?
It was a long, slow burn, that one.
Right.
The first inquiry for that project came in 1997. So not untypical for the UK nuclear industry, but for Norway that was a long time. So
yeah. How did it go? Why did it take so long?
It is fairly typical for nuclear to be a little slow at making decisions, but once that decision's been made, we were able to deliver in just over 2 years.
Brilliant. That's the first one is Norway. Have you got any ambitions to go further?
We have, yeah. So we're looking around the market. We've recently done some work in Sweden as well, looking after a laboratory over in Sweden, and there'll be more to come.
Excellent. And what are your general ambitions for Core? Where do you see it going? Are you seeing sort of doubling, tripling the size? Have you got specific sectors that you want to expand into?
We predominantly want to be nuclear, so we will touch little pieces of work outside nuclear, but predominantly we are a specialist nuclear contractor. So our aim is to grow both in Cumbria and potentially outside of Cumbria. So we still want to be very attentive to our customers, so we don't want to be 1,000 people or something like that, but around about the 100 mark would be probably our sweetest spot. So growing into new parts of nuclear as well. So we do a lot of work with Sellafield, and we love doing that work down there. It's fantastic work that we do down at Sellafield, but we're moving into other areas. So we signed last week a teaming agreement with Power Systems and a company from Sheffield called SCX to support small modular reactors and their lift and handling capabilities, all requirements for capabilities.
Fantastic news. And of course we're hoping to have SMRs, small modular reactors, here in Cumbria. If we can get Pioneer Park going, that will be fantastic for the region.
Certainly would be, yeah.
Yeah, great opportunity that. So moving into that whole SMR space is going to be, I think, critical for you as a business, but also for the region to be able to kind of all become part of that supply chain. It
is, yeah. It's a huge opportunity for the area of Cumbria and the rest of the UK as well. So the announcement of the first 3 reactors at Wilfer last week is fantastic news, and it's not quite on our doorstep, but it's close enough. Yeah,
Wilfer's not far, and yeah, I'm sure that they'll need all the supply chain they can get to build those reactors. So great news for you. So what drives John McGibbon? Why did you want to take over this business and grow it? What is it about you that makes that?
Fundamentally, I'm an engineer, so I'm a time-served maintenance fitter. I served my time in the local paper mill, and I just love engineering, love problem solving. I've always done that all right from when I was a small child, and that's what I love doing. And I've found somewhere in the business we picked up here that it's a big toy box. There's just problems you can solve, challenges you can come up against and succeed, and it's become a labour of love, really, in terms of work. Turning that into a business, that's a different side, and that's something I've had to grow into, and something I do now enjoy.
That's good. And you're a member of the iSH Cumbria Robotics Cluster, which we're very, very grateful for. You're clearly a core member for it. Do you see your work as predominantly robotics, or do you see it as manufacturing? Like, how do you see it?
We're more of an all-round solutions provider, so robotics is a really important part of our business going forward. We tend to look after all things that a nuclear site, an operational facility or decom facility needs, whether that's cameras, lighting, robotics, manipulators, MSMs, nuclear cranes and lifting capability, or just the control systems that hook them all together. So we have divided our business plan into all those different sections so we can address those all individually, and we've got a growth plan for each area.
Nice, very good. And what about John McGibbon outside of work? What do you do? Do you have time for hobbies?
I don't have a lot of time for hobbies, to be honest. I've been married for the last 22 and a bit years. I've got 3 kids, I'm busy at work most of the time, and when I'm at home, I'm busy as well. So
no rest for the wicked.
No, I must have been a really bad lad at some point. So.
That sounds really fun, and you're obviously so important to a lot of people. I mean, you can feel it when you walk into the core building, how everybody is a family, very driven, very sort of, there's a sense of energy and camaraderie, I think, in the building when I see the employees engaging with each other and with yourself.
Yeah, it's a really good team. We've built some really good people, and it's the way we recruit people. It's not just on what you can do, it's how you do it, the way you behave, the way you react to people, the way you treat other people, and it's that ethic that helps us be a strong company.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. So what next do you think for Cumbria and for West Cumbria in particular? Like, what's the opportunity for this region, do you think?
We've got a huge opportunity at Sellafield, to be honest, and it's really important that while we shouldn't look at Sellafield as some sort of cash cow, it's a really important mission to get that site cleaned up, decommissioned and done correctly. It's been quiet this last year with all the new contracts coming out, but with DWP and IDP and the replacement for IAC coming out, that's an important time for us to make sure we look after Sellafield properly. Interestingly for us, we've already looked at other markets for our existing product. So we're looking abroad into Europe. We're looking at different areas of the UK. So I'm down to the far south of England next week to look at a project down there. So there's lots of work going on. And going back to the digital idea behind iSH, it's growing expertise at Sellafield because it's on the doorstep, and then flipping 180 to have a look at where can we deliver these skills and expertise to. And I think that's pretty much what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually that model reminds me of the fact that you're also part of the Resolve consortium. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, Resolve has been a fantastic success these last 2 years. That brings together 4 companies, ourselves, Forth Engineering, React Engineering and Comms, all with complementary skills, and we deliver all the sprint solution work for Sellafield Limited, trying to grow those ideas and those problem solving capabilities on the site. So that's been a great collaboration.
What drives your decision to become part of a collaboration like that?
I think it's mainly down to the ethic of us as a business and working out who else we can work with closely. With those other 3 companies, we work seamlessly with them. It's been a really good collaboration, and it's understanding that we can be more than the sum of our parts by working together. And there's an awful lot more work to be done, and there are people capable of doing it. A lot of people say they can do it, but people who can really do it and having that direct access to expertise is really important.
I'm really impressed with your willingness to collaborate. It's definitely a culture change that we're seeing in the industry, and you've obviously already talked about the Cumbria Manufacturing Alliance and that being part of that consortium, and then Resolve as well. It does feel like things are moving where there's a real recognition of what you just said, that the whole is more than the sum of the parts. So it feels like the industry is moving slightly more in that direction.
Yeah, I think it's that understanding that we can do better together, and companies competing against each other is important from a commercial point of view, but when you want to deliver a solution, it's working together is much more important to bring the best of the skills out of different companies and different people.
Yeah, good, great. Well, thank you so much for taking part in this podcast.
No problems.
We are so excited to see your growth, and we really look forward to seeing where Core Nuclear Solutions goes next, and here to help if there's anything we can do as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.